between every institution grown out of this country and white supremacy, the nation as a whole, including its laws and its institutions.
What you have is a tension between nationalism and globalism.
They had to create something in the mind of the poor whites that distinguished them and separated them from the blacks. And that's what what I call, and James Baldwin called, the religion of whiteness.
The beliefs that answer to the politics of that community are going to be driven by the economics of that community because economics and politics overlap.
You know why I wanted to be a politician in a time when we disenfranchised? Because of power.
African Americans spent $1.3 trillion last year, making us the 16th wealthiest nation in the world. Why have we not turned those riches into wealth to develop our community?
Tamir Rice, Sean Bell, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, and Michael Brown, just to name a few.
Some may incorrectly classify their death as police brutality. However, it is in fact murder and a form of terrorism that is ironically very similar to what took place during chattel enslavement. What steps can be taken to make it stop?
Make the devil happy.
Greetings, family. We have a new and big adventure for you today. I'm going to speak on certain things next week. We're going to have some things coming, but before I get into that, I'm just going to say, please press that share, like, and subscribe button. And we have a big gun in the house. I can say she's been on the channel once before, and she's going to describe who she is and what she's about. But you've seen the advertisement all over the place. You've seen the social media, but it's the one and only, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Queen, introduce yourself.
Peace. I want to just start off by giving thanks to the Most High giving thanks to the ancestors, giving thanks to the universe, giving thanks to all the hidden hands that are behind the scenes, the unseen hands that are making all this amazingness happen on this planet, in this world, in my life. I also want to say a big rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. I hope you transition well to the ancestral realm. And thank you for all the work that you put in to just raising the vibration and raising the collective consciousness of Black people across the planet. And I am Selina Brown. I wear many hats, but my most important hat is a mother. I'm a mother to a 2-year-old princess. I'm also a children's author. I'm the head of events and marketing for Legacy Centre of Excellence. I'm also the CEO of Little Miss Creative. So I wear several different hats, all of them incredible, all of them fill me with joy, and all of them I'm just giving gratitude for.
Okay. As we were speaking now, Selina, it's been some time now. And, a lot of people have seen you do the works and put in the works. I just want us to go from the beginning because, it's a big journey that most of us make. And, we go over many different hurdles. As you know, we have this COVID-19, whatever they call it. And a lot of people have to able to reflect. And I want to ask, how have you reflected over this COVID so far?
Well, COVID was a much needed pause that I didn't know I needed. So I was able to just be still. I remember the day after, it was a Wednesday that we decided to close down Legacy in March. I believe it was like around the 13th, 14th. And I remember the next day waking up and thinking, oh my goodness, I've got no schools to go to. I've got no work to go to. I've got literally nothing to do. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, like there was just this like peace that just came over me. And I thought, I'm gonna just chill. So I did. And I chilled for a very long time. And so throughout lockdown, one of the things I did over lockdown was to completely remove myself of social media because I didn't need it. So that allowed me just to focus and go inwards. And then obviously having no social media, having no work, I was like, what am I going to do? And so I looked at my back garden and I was thinking, yo, that needs doing. And so I've done a whole makeover of my back garden. And then after that, I was like, oh, I need some fruit and veg in here. So I just planted a whole farm in my back garden. Most of the tips came from YouTube. I'm not even going to lie. So now my garden's abundantly grown with fruit and vegetables. I've got everything from purple kale to sweet corn to beetroot to carrots to garlic to onions. I've got a whole supermarket in my back garden. Actually, yesterday, I was there trying to cook some food and I was like, yo, I'm running out of onion stuff. And I was like, oh, it's long trying to go to a supermarket right about now. I was like, yo, let me go dig one out of my garden. And I did. I dig the onion out of my garden and it tastes good. And then, so that was one thing I did. And then I just got, and then my garden was done and everything was planted. And then I just got this I got this calling for plants. Over lockdown. So my house is just is a rainforest. Like literally my house is a rainforest. So, and then one of the things that happened over lockdown is that my grandma transitioned. So she passed, which was devastating and it rocked my core. And it really, 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 it was just devastating. And so I was grieving over lockdown as well and just, really connecting to the ancestral realm and going within and just questioning and just questioning and asking questions and listening and, just being in that space, you know what I mean? And so I think one of the things that came of my grandma passing was just the desire to just move and do and be, you know what I mean? And so during lockdown, I actually wrote a book as well, Nena the Green Juice. So that's one of the activities. I know you. Do you want to ask another question? Because I can hear you trying to comment.
Okay, so because I'm gonna ask these questions because you know what, before we even get to the book, I want us to get into the demographics of your journey, quick fast demographic, because people want to know who you are and how did you begin this journey. Let's look at it in the forms of from when you've left school and you're out in this world of today and how you grew your journey.
Okay, cool. Okay, so if we're starting from like school times, from when I was in school, I just remember loving media. I wanted to work in the media. There was actually a war that took place. I don't even remember where this war was, and there was one journalist that was there, and it was just on the lines, man, on the front line, bombs being dropped, and he was interviewing people and running. I was like, yo, I want to do that job. So I just had a fascination with media from a young age, and simultaneously, when I was also being fascinated by media, I grew up in a household with my mother. Big up my mum, she's amazing. And he had loads of books around the house about Black history. And me I just loved to read when I was younger. I went through all the Goosebump books. I went through all the Jacqueline Wilson books. Like I was a bookworm. And my whole book collection's behind me. So still a lover of books. And so I kind of, from a young age, I was aware of our history and also our greatness as well. And so I went to a school where I was the only Black girl out of 300, out of my whole year. So that's 300 people, 300 kids, one Black guy, one Black girl, and I was that one Black girl. And so, I don't ever really so I suppose there was obviously Asian people there as well, but I was the only Black girl, and I can never remember wanting to be anything other than I was, because I would always nearly every weekend go and stay with my nan, and that was a heavy Jamaican household. Like he had ackee and saltfish. There was rice and chicken every Sunday, Saturday soup every Saturday. Like, you know what I mean? He was speaking patois and doing what she's doing. And you know what I mean? So I always had the culture around me. Like I always knew who I was and I always knew where I came from. And so, so moving through. So, so I went on to study media and communication. Like I'm telling two stories simultaneously. So I'm telling my professional story and also my spiritual story. Let me just clarify, which one do you want? Because you know, in forms of the stories, I was going to get to the spiritual side because I just wanted to give an overview of how you maneuvered in your journey in just in forms of the academic and a little bit of the spiritual. Academic. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let me get academic first then. Okay, cool. So I wanted to work in the media, my passion. And so when I was younger, I was very outspoken. I was very, I was relentless. I was unapologetic. I knew myself, and my youth worker, because I went to a youth club every night. There was a youth club in our area. I used to go there every night and play pool and whatever. And my youth worker noticed me. And then he called me in and he was like, yo, there's an opening to be a youth MP. Yo, you should go forward. And I was like, I don't want to be no youth MP. And he was like, no, you should do it. So I did. And I became the youth MP for Nottingham. I was voted in, and that required me to go around the UK doing speeches and stuff. And then I went on to go to college and I studied media and communication. And then I went to university to study media and communication. While I was at uni, after uni, I went on to work for MTV, BBC, Floyd Communications, and then I became a communications executive at charity. That charity in Birmingham, that charity got closed down because it lost its funding. I was left without any job, and so I decided to move to New York. Moved to New York, worked there for 2 years. worked in media.
And let me just interject quickly, because I kind of know a bit of your story and your understanding of your story. But a lot of people, because you see, I look at that, and when you repeat your story, I see your transition from the time you reached New York, which gave it like an explosion, a boof. So I want you to just quickly tap into that New York part on a spiritual level.
Okay, so whilst I was in New York, I wanted to go there. Like I said, I knew nobody. It was my absolute desire just to go there. I just felt there was a calling for me to be there. And at the time, as I said, I just been made redundant. Like I didn't have any money. And then I just remember going to one conference and meeting one lady, and she was said to me, like, if you want to manifest anything, have no fear, and just call it in. Just know it's going to be true. And so I was like going around telling everybody, I'm going to New York. Like, I'm going to New York. And they were like, well, you got no, I don't care. I'm going to New York. And so I ended up going to a car boot sale every Sunday. I was at that car boot sale selling stuff. And I must have made at least 400 quid over a few weeks from the car boot sale. And then I got my job and I moved over there. And then let me fast forward. So let me backtrack a bit. So part of that visualization, because it's really important what I'm about to say, part of that visualization process was that I had a picture of New York that I would stare at every single night before I went to bed. And I would literally stare at the photo, stare at the skyline. I would just stare at it, and just imagine myself there, and imagine the smells and the sounds and the feelings and the breeze and everything. I would just be there. And I was just calling it in and just visualizing myself there. So fast forward, I got a job in New York. I was working in Manhattan, and I was working late one night, and the building that I was working in had a rooftop garden. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and I went to the rooftop garden, and I looked over at the skyline, and I just paused, and I was like, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. And it was exactly the same as the photo I was looking at. So manifestation is real. I want to just put that point out there. Like, even what I'm experiencing now with my book, like, let it be known that this is what I've been calling in. You know what I mean? Like, I have no doubt, I have no fear, and I'm claiming what's mine. You know, and it's coming because I'm commanding it to come. You understand? So I'm relentless when it comes to manifestation. Calling in what I need. So one of my wishes when I was in New York was that the only wish I had was to meet people like me, and I was like, I just want to meet people like me.
How do you find that though? Because sometimes when you look at a mirror reflection of yourself, and like you're trying to seek for someone that looks like you, but they never always seem to be complete. How do you find that?
So like, I was like, I just want people like me. So like people that are outgoing and friendly. And then I was kind of going into I was a vegetarian, kind of looking at like healthy eating. I was spiritual. I was making my own hair products. Like I was like really kind of coming into myself. Like I was just coming to, it was 2011, 2010, I was coming into myself, and I was in New York, and my only wish was to find people like me. And so through a series of miraculous, not even coincidences, but meetings, I was just meeting people. And the first person I met was a guy called my brother. Not even a guy, my brother's called LeVon and Sean, and I met them because there was a lecture happening in Brooklyn, and Red Pill and Blue Pill was there. This was in 2010, and then I remember just walking out. I just had a calling to go there, and I just went to the lecture by myself. And then I just felt like I was going to meet someone there. And the lecture ended, and I was walking out the door, and I was like, I haven't met the person yet. And then a guy tapped me on my shoulder, and he was like, "Yo, where you from?" And I was like, "From England." And we just got talking, and he was like, I was like, I want to make some friends. Because where are your friends? And then since that day, all and now, these are my brothers, man. These are my brothers. Anyway, so. And then there was an occurrence where I was at a crystal store in Union Square, Manhattan, looking at crystals, and there was a guy standing next to me, and he was looking at crystals, and we just got talking, and I was like, oh, where you from? And I was like, he was like, I'm from Florida. I just moved out here. And then I was like, oh, he's like, where are you from? I'm like, from England. And I was like, what you do? I said to him, what are you doing out here? And he goes, I'm working with Queen Afua. And I was like, what? You working with Queen Afua? No way. And so fast forward, I think it was 2008. Queen had come to Brixton to deliver a speech, and she signed my book, and I love that book. I've got it here now, Heal Thyself. And she's actually signed it from 2008. That's a signed copy right there. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I can introduce her to Queen. I was like, no way. So anyway, I end up going to the house, Queen's house, and I had a very in-depth, what would I call it? I wouldn't even call it interrogation, but I had a very in-depth discussion with Ali, her son. And he was going in, questions who I am, where I come from, blah, 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 blah. And like, I was just answering and just being honest and transparent. And obviously they took to my energy. So I ended up working with her for the 2 years that I was there. I undertook all of her programs, Sacred Woman and Women Wellness. I was helping making her products. I was helping with her social media. I was going to events with her. And also during that time, I became vegan, like fully vegan. My healing journey was like on another path. Like, you know what I mean? I met with my sister, my sacred sister, Tabia, my sacred sister Bailey, there when I was there as well. And so, yeah, that was like my journey in New York. It was just like the best years of my life, honestly.
Okay, so like let's get into the nitty gritty, because you know, fast forwarding in forms of your journey of that health and understanding the business, academia, and in the media, and if you put that into a ball. Now, as you was explaining through quarantine, what gave you a desire to because I know you've written books before. And we will talk about your other books a bit later on. But what gave you a desire to actually write a children's book?
First of all, it was my dream. Like, my dream has always been to write a children's book. Like, I've written my book Before Breath that came out in 2015. And Queen actually wrote the foreword for that book as well, bless her. She encouraged me to write that book. And so I wrote that book. So now we're in quarantine and I'm sitting there and I'm just seeing like, I don't have a TV for one, but obviously like you're on social media, you're on the internet, and you're just generally around people. You're hearing about Corona and all the things that are happening, people dying, and about like have to eat healthy, you need to take your sea mask, blah, blah, blah. And I'm seeing like kids around me do the complete opposite in terms of looking after their health. And I'm just getting really, really concerned. I'm thinking like, if these kids continue to eat healthy, their immune system's going to drop and they're going to be susceptible to getting the virus or any other disease. So I was like, what can I do to kind of solve that problem and prevent that from happening? And so I just went into spirit, called and asked, and I listened, and it came to me that I needed to write a book, and so I did. And yeah, I birthed Nena the Green Juice, and it's basically about a 5-year-old girl, Nena. Nena's actually based on me. My family all call me Nena.
Okay.
And then one of the characters in the book is called Melly, her sister, and then mom as well in there as well. So the book's actually based upon a true story of when my mom used to juice fruits when we were little, and have explained the different fruits and vegetables and the power it had on the body. And that's basically what this book does. So it's like it's a very basic, child-friendly, fun way of educating them on the power of fruit and vegetables.
So what would you say your target audience is?
So the target, the child in the book's 5. I'm saying the book is suitable for 0 to 10 year olds, and obviously it's for anyone that wants to educate their child or wants their child to be healthy. I'm a mother of a 2-year-old. I know that sometimes it's difficult to kind of get your child to eat certain things because they're not aware of the power it has. But if we can explain it to them in a fun way, like broccoli is good for you because it does this to your eyes, it does this to you, whatever, it does this, you know what I mean? It's going to encourage them more to want to eat fruit and veg. And if we kind of compound, if we also supplement that, or also, what's the word I'm looking for? If we also introduce to them gardening as well, to alongside the healthy eating and the education on the food, it makes it even more powerful. So my daughter has seen the cabbage grow, she's seen the carrots grow, she's seen the tomato grow, she picks the tomatoes for me, she picks the strawberries for me. You know what I mean? Like, so and she makes her love the food even more. You know what I mean? Even yesterday we were in the kitchen cooking some wholemeal dumplings, and she's rolling them. She's only 2, but I've taught you she can roll in them, and I put it in the hot water for her, and I was like, "That's your dumpling." And as soon as I put the dumpling on her plate, she ate the whole thing because it was her dumpling. So when they have that relationship with food, they're more enticed to want to eat it. You know what I mean? And so that's this book is definitely a way of definitely educating them and making them understand what.
Because you know how the little children nowadays, they find it very difficult to fast food to eat their greens because they like the fast foods out there. But does it kind of express its way of having fun and enjoying the green that they drink, or because, as I said, getting the inside of that book? So does it kind of educate and give the child the fun about drinking greens?
100%. Like I've had the mothers come to me and even fathers come to me. My daughter wants to make green juice now because she's read your book. I had a group of children at my house the other day when we were filming for the BBC, and then we were juicing, and they all drank the green juice because they made the green juice, and so they wanted to try it. It was their first time, and they all loved it. And so, yeah, it's definitely fun. It's definitely educational. I mean, like, fruit and vegetables are so powerful. Like, there's more iron in kale than a carton of milk. There's more vitamin C in kale than orange. You know what I mean? And when we look at the nutritional value of fruit and vegetables, like the vitamin C is good for the immune system, vitamin D gives you energy, you know what I mean? Iron moves the oxygen around in your body gives you immune system boost as well. And so it's important that we have these foods. It's not even like, it's like they have to be part of the lifestyle for our children, man. It's so important. If we want children that have powerful bodies, that have good brain function, that their memories are sharp, it's about feeding them from the early days, from their age 0, with these fruits and vegetables, with these supplements. Put in, like, when my daughter has sea moss in her cereal. You know what I mean? Like, I put sea moss in her cereal. Black seed, she takes black seed, she takes molasses, like all the natural stuff. You know what I mean? The millet, the folio, everything. Like, so I was juicing hemp seed milk for her when she was younger, almond milk for her when she was younger. So she's been a vegan since she's been born. You know what I mean? So she knows, like, she loves strawberries and she loves fruit and vegetables, so she'll eat it. Yesterday, for the first time, she tried passion fruit. She had the whole thing. My daughter loves fruit and vegetables. And that's because from a young age I've been introducing it to her. It's not an addition to, it is food. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you say, oh, eat, you know, they look at fruit and vegetables as not being food. It's just something that you have on the side. No, that can also be a main meal as well. And so yeah, it can definitely educate children on the food.
Okay, so in how long did it give you, like, how long did it take you to actually bring this book together? Because, you know, there's a lot of even people out there that have said that they find it very difficult to construct or to build a book on especially on your life skills, and especially the passage of you and your daughter. So I just want you to give an insight of how you came to bringing this book into content.
Well, the first thing I did was write the story. Obviously, I wrote the story. It was quite quick to write the story because I know I'm very educated. I know about using food as medicine. I green juice daily. So to write about green juice was was easy for me to do. I read stories daily to my child, and so I'm always around children's stories anyway. So I knew the natural flow of the story and how to structure it. And so that kind of came innately. And then my worked with my friend to illustrate it, and then just put it together. But you have to understand that this was done during lockdown. I didn't have any work to go to. I didn't have any other things that were occupying my time apart from being a mother, and doing my gardening and watering my plants. I had so much free time. You know what I mean? I had so much free time, and so I was able just to zoom through it and do like a fast-paced route into writing the book because of the amount of time I had. I think it would have taken me longer because I've got loads of other responsibilities in terms of my business and my work. If I had done it when it wasn't locked down. So I need to give thanks because I had that much needed pause, and it enabled me to really go within, be peaceful, be calm, and just channel the information down, listen, and work with spirit. You know what I mean? Spirit's always part of my daily life anyway. And so just working with spirit and them guiding me and using my intuition, like, should I do this or should I do this? Even with the date I was letting it out, like the book was actually ready in June.
Yeah.
I decided to release it but I'd released it in August just because it just felt right. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel right. I was just going with spirit. I was like, now isn't the time. It just doesn't feel right. And so I was just waiting for that kind of inner knowing and I had it. So I released it on the 16th of August.
Okay. So in writing this book, would you say you wrote this book on the strength, as it was COVID, but on the strength of raising your daughter in the formality of being that plant-based health in that perspective? Would you say that had the massive influence in
Go ahead, sorry.
Not in teaching your child?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's definitely, my daughter loves the book, and my daughter influences me in everything I do in my life. Like, she's a massive teacher. My daughter is my main master teacher in that she teaches me so much. And so, yes, she definitely influenced the book 100%. I suppose if she wasn't around, I probably wouldn't have even written the book because I wouldn't have had, I wouldn't have had the insight that I do now as a mother. But so, yeah, she was a definite influence.
Okay, so in saying so, if I look at it like, because you see with that surrounding of the COVID, what is your understanding of COVID, by the way? Let me ask you, what's your understanding? Because I always like to ask people their understanding, because everyone went into that thing where they part themselves up, and one thing I've noticed, what you're very an interactive person, and you always see you do a lot of your affirmations and things like that when I see you online, especially on your social medias. During that period of COVID, how did you keep yourself active?
Active? How did I keep myself active during COVID?
Yeah, because a lot of people were indoors.
I went to the park. I was one of the lockdown rules was that you could go out into green space. I was out in green space. It was beautiful. Like taking walks, going to like the hills. I was in green space. I was in nature. I was taking in the sun rays and the energy and the warmth. And yeah, just breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Yeah, I was active. I was doing my yoga. I was doing my tai chi. I was doing my exercise. I remember I had so much free time, so I was doing like YouTube exercise videos. You know what I mean? Me and my daughter, I was going for walks I was loving it. I was always like during COVID, I was always in my tracksuit bottoms and trainers. Like I just wore trainers all the time, tracksuit bottoms all the time, and headscarf all the time. Like that was my attire, because I was like constantly just training or out in the garden and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, but in how can I say this? Inside the book itself, and the demonstrations of the book, you know, because I look a bit deeper, and sometimes when we go into it, we go into the forms of the psychology and the mindset of the person, because your mindset has a massive influence on your book. In what would you say are the straight messages within that book, or what kind of message are you trying to reach people with?
Okay, so this is a draft book I've got here because I've sold out of my thingy. So this is the first page of the book. And so as you can, Mummy's got a little teeny weeny afro, like, you know what I mean? She's natural. All the children are natural. So first of all, I am showing the young children that read this, the young girls, the young boys, that black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. There was a study done in 2017, and it found that only 1% of children's books in 2017 featured a main character that was black. And the 1% of books that did have a main character that was black, the character was either like, you know, a drug dealer or it was a really bad stereotype. And so this is a positive story about a mother just teaching her kids about green juice, you know, and there's her with some beetroot, there's Nena looking at the juicer, you know what I mean? And so it's about, the messages are behind it is 1, black is beautiful, 2, green food is medicine, you know what I mean, and food is powerful, and food really, really, really boosts everything, you know what I mean, like fruits and vegetables in particular. So they would be the 2 main messages that I've actually put within the book, deliberately.
Yeah. So so within the messages, as I said, is the greens and able to eat him right. When did you feel that you needed to do your own personal transition? Because, you know, a lot of people find it very difficult because they've been meat eaters for a long period of time, or they have children that have been meat eaters for a period of time, but they want to change their diets, as in from their child eating so much meat to being some form of eating more vegetables. What kind of advice would you give?
Okay, so my journey into vegetarianism and veganism, I like to just call it like a plant-based lifestyle.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have a plant-based lifestyle that started in 2010, and that started basically because, for one, I was at a point in my life where everything had to be natural. Like I was putting like avocado on my hair and just making my own. I was making shampoo out of like black soap. Like I was going hard. I had all these natural face masks, everything was like my whole household was natural. There was no chemicals in my house, like in 2010. And obviously, naturally, you kind of progress into the food. And I was researching food. I had Dr. Layla Africa's book, Nutricide. I had, let me just get them here. Nutricide. So these 2 books really influenced me. So Nutricide by Dr. Layla Africa, and then I had Heal Thyself by Queen Afua, and I was reading these books, and I was like, yo, like honestly, like, and then also this is in 2008 where Queen signed it in Brixton, like. So so I read these books. I was just understanding health and then chlorophyll. Like it was a thing about chlorophyll. So I started like really looking to chlorophyll and looking at plants and everything. And then I heard this quote that in one YouTube lecture, or some sort of lecture, that said, if you want to live, why would you put death in your body? I was like, complete sense. Like if you want to live, why put death in your body? And that really shook me. And I was like, I want to live. You know what I mean? I don't want to die. I want to live. And so you put life in your body if you want to live. It's a simple equation. It's as simple as that. And so like mutton was the hardest thing I had to give up. Let me tell you, like a lot of people, it's chicken. Like I used to love mutton. Why? I used to love my mutton, you know, and so that was really difficult. But once I transitioned off the mutton, the chicken came easy and everything else did. And it was just looking at I just had alternatives. So back then I used to eat a lot of soy-based products. So like the Linda McCartney sausages, banging, banging. I used to eat like, you know, just the corn mince and then the chicken pieces, and then like there was the veggie fish fingers. Like I used to eat things like that because it was easy, it was accessible. It replaced what it was very similar to what I knew. So that's kind of how I kind of moved into the vegetarianism. And then when I went to New York, Queen and Ali, because Ali is an amazing chef. They opened like a world of food, like carrot tuna and nori, and all these amazing, and all these different grains that I never even knew how to cook or what they were, and how to like make different stews and roasted this and dried this, and it was incredible. And the food all tasted delicious, and I was like, wow, I can really be 100% vegan, and I love nice tasting food. I'm not gonna lie, and I can actually eat really nice food as well when I can be healthy. Man, this is amazing. So like, yeah, it was just basically that. It was, I think, because I was around the environment and I was taught it. Like part of our training with Queen, like we were in the kitchen and we were making things, and so like practical skills and how to do things. It made it a lot more easier because you know what I mean? It made it a lot more easier because I knew how to do certain things that I never knew. So yeah, that was my journey to healthy eating.
Because you know what, I want to ask you a question, because you know we got to that point where I was gonna touch on, and because we had International Sister Circle earlier on, and they were giving out their testimonies, and I know that you have become a sacred woman. I just wanted to give a demonstration and understanding of the sacred woman journey, and a kind of a testimony of where you have come from in as Selina Brown.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I've got my sacred woman book here. No, I don't have it. And so yeah, and so I went into sacred woman, not knowing it was sacred woman, and I was just invited to a course. Queen told me to come on one day, and I was like, cool, I'll be there. I knew nothing about sacred woman whatsoever, so I joined the course. I went there after work in the evening to Queen's house, and there were other sisters there. And wow, it was one of the most powerful things I've ever done. Like just moving through the different gateways and like doing the fire breaths and doing the singing. Nupu enter Hamed. Nupu enter Hamed. That means I am a sacred woman. And so doing singing and just going through the gateways and doing your sacred baths and journaling and just really just going within and in conjunction with that, like every fortnight we'd go to the steam bath with Queen. And so we'd do a deep steam and we'd put the green clay all over our bodies, and then we were hitting ourselves to activate with the I can't remember what it's called, but you kind of tap yourself. And I had to do my enemas, I was doing my colon cleanse, I was doing my colonics, I was doing my inversions, like I was in it. And the beautiful thing about doing it in person is that I had a group of women that were on the journey with me. And so I was never alone. And so when I had them, like, because when you go through Sacred Woman, you're basically putting a mirror to yourself, and you're having to see yourself and all of the drama, all of the trauma, all of everything that you go through. And I was seeing myself. And not only that, we were seeing ourselves for who we were, and we were also seeing and recognizing who we could become. So allowing us to be able to really understand that we were only part of the woman that we were, and that we could blossom into so much more. So Queen really helped us, allow us to sit on our seats of power, walk with our heads high, allow us to understand who we were and our God-given power, allow us to work with spirit and the energies, and just really delve into the deepness of the divine in every single way. It was incredible. It literally changed my life. Literally, I'm not even like, not even joking. I would do it again. But like I said, I think doing it in person for me was what made I was in Queen's house, like literally in Queen's living room, like, you know what I mean, drinking, and then we'd have the breath of life, we'd have the green juice, we'd have the green juice, the woman's tea as well, and like we just like we were embodying it. It was just it was incredible. That's my testimony.
You know, but I always ask this part of the testimony, in that if Queen was in the room right now and you had something highly special to say, all right, through your journey, what would you say to her?
I would say, and I was talking to her son Ali the other day, and I said that I would say that I just hope that, no, I'm willing and I'm asking the hidden hands, the universe, to give you an abundance of everything good. I want all your heart's desires to come true, every single one of them, because you deserve it. With the amount of work, you need to understand, yeah, when I knew Queen Afua, like, he was big. It was in 2011, like 2011, I knew Queen. That's when I had a relationship with her, and she was big. Like, but now she's just on a next scale, like Beyonce video kind of big. You understand? Nipsey Hussle kind of big. You understand? And so I was saying, like, I remember, like, in 2011, like, he was grinding. He was in the office. He was putting in the work. He was putting in the work. He was putting in the work. You know what I mean? And I know back then he probably wasn't seeing as much of the, I don't know, getting as much monetary gain as he is now. But throughout it, he was putting in the work. Like, he was dedicated. Like, to me, like, the amount of, like, wisdom he put into me is unbelievable. And I've seen so many people come through and he educate them as well. And so right now is Queen's time. Yeah, and right now is time for Queen Afua, for the world to know Queen Afua. And so I want people to be speaking her name throughout the planet, on every continent. I want them to know about Queen Afua. I want them to be buying her books. I want them to be enrolling in her classes. Why? Because she deserves it. Because she's authentic, she's honest, and she's committed. Like, she lives the lifestyle. He lives the lifestyle. Like, like, undeniably lives the lifestyle. And she's been honest for years. And so, like I just want her to have an abundance of everything great and good. And I just want her name to be spoken across the world, and to be put on her platform to go be elevated to heights.
But when we talk on that, right, and going through the program, and I know it must have had influences into creating your own program, and the powerful things that you do at this moment in forms of going into the schools, because I find it, for me, you have to go to building a foundation and a legacy for your future. You have to tap into the young children. And when you tap into the young children, what you give back in forms of going and meeting these young girls and things like that. Just give us a little overview of your program and what you do within your circumference.
Okay, cool. So I run an organization called Little Miss Created. I'm the founder and CEO of the organization. It was started in 2013, as soon as I came back from New York. I just felt there was a void, there was something missing in terms of, like, that connection between women, because I felt it in New York. I had my sisterhood in New York. I came back here and I was like, I don't have anyone. Like, I need people. And I also want to be able to share this knowledge, this newfound knowledge that I have as well. So I created Little Miss Creative. And it started as just like a networking group in the basement of a cafe, literally in the basement of a cafe. And the first networking session had maybe, I think I had like 12, 13 women, girls there. And from there, it just grew and grew and grew. And so to date, we've worked with over 5,000 women across the world. And so when I say world, I'm mentioning Jamaica, Brazil, Gambia, New York. We've done sessions in all them different countries currently. So I had a team of 10 people. We were doing like at the height of the organization.
Mhm.
We had an office based in Birmingham. I had 10 employees. We were doing incredible work. And then my business partner passed away from cancer in 2016. And so because of that, I just literally shut down everything. Shut it.
But you know what? I'd like to hear a little kind of demonstration of what was actually happening within the program, because you know some programs, for me, I never say they die. They elevate, they upgrade, they move into advance, because you've now taught some of these children, and there's someone that may come up and say, you know what, Selina, you know, I would like to take that baton, or I would like to find a way how we can collaborate and make it even more powerful. So I just want people out there to know exactly what kind of things you was doing when you was approaching these young girls.
Oh yeah, when at the beginning of the organization, it was really based on events and workshops, and so we were delivering like so many workshops in schools, in universities, and nurseries. We worked with Google, we partnered with Microsoft, so it was like a really high profile organization, and then we'd have influence come down from London all the time to come and speak at Little Miss Creative events. And then, so as I mentioned, in 2016, my business partner passed away. I closed down the organization completely. In 2018, I started it back up, and I kind of, created. I had a different outlook when I started back in 2018, and I solely wanted to work on the schools. And my focus now is schools and at-risk young girls. So we currently work with 10 schools across the West Midlands with at-risk young girls. So these girls have got behavioural issues, they've been excluded several times or suspended, or they're low achievers, or they lack confidence. So they're at risk in some way. And we also work in pupil referral units as well. So these are girls that have been kicked out of mainstream schools. And so we work with them. And so my focus in the programs is on, I call it like a user-led program, because different schools have different issues. And so some of the girls may need confidence building, and so they be very confidence building focused. Or some of the girls will be like, it might be, there's been an issue with social media, so we'll look at that, and healthy relationships. So it might be about, sharing really inappropriate imagery online, look at that. Or it might be like a really violent school with people that have been involved in knife crimes, so we'd look at that. So I've got a very bespoke program and user-led program where that I will literally, if I see there's an issue that needs to be created, that's come up in the session, or if the girls express a need to talk about a certain topic, then I will create a whole session, a whole workshop on that particular topic. And so it's very bespoke and user-led. Because I found from the beginning that not like some people go in and say week 1's confidence, week 2 social media, week 3 sexual health. No, it doesn't work. Like when you're dealing with these girls that are very energetic, very passionate, you know what I mean? You need to work with their flow rather than dictate to them what they've got to learn, because my sessions aren't normal school sessions. It's completely different. It's about building them holistically, looking at the whole person and listening to the whole person, and really, rather than dictating, listening. And that's the main part of my workshops.
Okay. So, in going back in this, your book release, as we're coming to a close of time, but we're going to continue probably in the future and discuss with our international sister circles, as they've been demanding and asking, because they know that you're a powerful sister.
Should I go and turn on my light quickly? It's getting a bit dark. I'm just going to turn on my light. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry. I just don't want it to be too dark.
People love and like. Please press the share button, like button. This is good information, and this is information we need to share as our brothers and sisters. As you know, it's the Black family first. We have to clean out our house before we can even able to engage. So, talking with our brothers and sisters and getting to know what things are happening within our community is the right place to begin. So, this is Black Eyes TV. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And yes, Selina. So, yes, going back to your book, I want you to give us another overview of your book and, in the times of your launch. And, where can people receive and find your book, and how would you kind of give the information about your book in like your social medias?
Okay, cool. So, like I said, I released my book on the 16th of August, and since the 16th of August, it's the love and support, the positivity, the likes, the shares, the purchasing has been out of this world. Like, honestly, it's just been incredible. Just this past Friday, I had a whole news segment on the BBC News about myself in the book, which absolutely blew me away, because the support I've been receiving, and the news segment as well, was absolutely incredible. So I want to just start by saying thank you to every single being that has supported me. I've noticed and I've seen, and I appreciate every single person that's just given me a like, given me a share, told their friends about me, to the journalists, to the platforms, to the celebs. Thank you. Like, honestly, like, it's been, I'm deeply, deeply, deeply humbled by the love I've been receiving. So you can get the book off Amazon, type in Nena the Green Juice, or you can get it off my website, www.selinabrown.com, or you can see the Selina Brown. You can get it, go to my Instagram, there's a link there for you to purchase it there. So if you just type in my name, Selina Brown, you'll see my website on Google, it'll come up, click. There's a link as soon as you go onto my website to buy the book. Like I said, I appreciate the support, man. And it doesn't stop here. There's so much more that I want to birth. It's just bubbling inside of me, and it's going to
be. Bring out a part 2.
Saying like, what's coming next is going to be so powerful. I'm telling you, like, what's coming next. If you think Nena the Green Juice is good, wait. Saying no, I'm not saying no more. I'm just gonna allow the energy to come through. When it's time to talk, I will talk, but right now isn't the time to talk. Again, here's a cover of my book. It's for boys and it's for girls. So if you have a child that you want to just introduce, teach them about healthy eating, this is the go-to book. Very, very an easy read, a light read, a fun read, a happy read. All children love it. Like, I've had so many positive reviews. My daughter loves it. So I can give you a first-hand review as a mother as well. So yeah, it's definitely a good look.
Okay, so in forms of giving advice to the general public from your perspective and advice from the perspective of your book, give us two different perspectives, because the book is different from who you are.
Advice in regards to what?
If there was something you wanted to tell the general public, as in from your deeper self and from the book itself, what would you say?
So I think what's coming through for me to say is that the 9 Axioms of Tahuti, which is actually the laws of the universe, or if you want to call it the Hermetic laws, the first law is all is in the mind, the universe is mental. All is in the mind, the universe is mental. Everything starts from here. So if you have a dream, if you have goals, if you have anything that you want to birth, first of all, you have to be able to see in the mind. It has to be it all starts from within, the mind and the spirit. You know what I mean? Just will it, speak it, call it, claim it, know it to be true. Release all doubt, release all fear, and it will appear. And the thing about it is that you have to understand, when it comes to willing things into existence, is that when in terms of the universe, time doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And so just think of it here as in the now, and live as if it's in the now, and it will appear. It will, like, it honestly will appear. It will, like, honestly, I'm speaking from truth and from experience, that everything and anything is possible. There is no limit. There is no bounds. You are limitless. You are timeless. You are amazing being. Like, you are pure energy from source. And when you know your powers, unstoppable. So that's the message from me. And the message from the book is to drink your greens. Drink your greens. Drink your greens. No matter it doesn't matter if you're 2 years old, if you're 42 years old, you need to be drinking your greens. You know what I mean? Get that vitamin C, get that vitamin D, get that chlorophyll, get all that goodness inside you, yeah? On a cellular level, like, it's just activating. It's just activating. It's just activating. It's just activating. It's ridding your body of any possible disease. It's giving you more energy. It's giving you clearer skin. Like, greens are the way forward. Like, eat from Mother Nature. Mother Nature before everything. That's what I'm about to say.
Thank you for Selina coming around and giving us a quick visit and, giving us a little bit of information on the book. I did an advert earlier on. Next week, Wednesday, on the 2nd, we have Leonard Jeffries and the Happy directors. And the directors for the Happy film are the same directors for Tahuti Films, who are doing the Queen Mafua documentary coming. So that's going to be massive. Yeah, so everyone look out for that. But yes, we're going to be talking about that information on Wednesday at 8 o'clock UK time, 8 p.m. and 3 p.m. EST time. So watch out for that. It was lovely speaking to you, Selina, as we start to begin and out. Love, peace, and light.
Love and light, and give thanks. So, like I said, we always have to give thanks to those that have come before us, the ancestors, the Most High, the universe. Praise and blessings to everybody. Yeah.
All right. Peace.